And once you get to the seal of Shirley Conley, put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand to be sworn, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you've given this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you, sir. Mr. Johnson, have a seat here on the witness stand, please, sir.
That nigga is on the witness stand about to tell on his brother, his blood brother, about to put his blood brother in jail for the rest of his life. That is deep right there, buddy. So if he tell on his brother, nigga, he'll tell on anybody else.
Johnson, what school did you go to, sir? How far did you get in school? 12th grade. Did you finish the 12th grade? Did you ever get a GED, sir? No, sir. Can you read and write okay, Mr. Johnson? Yes, sir. Mr. Johnson, answer those questions because the law requires me to answer, okay? A couple of things, Mr. Johnson, you were charged by way of an indictment 220476, now charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. So that Class A felony carried anywhere from 15 to 16 years in prison. You're pleading guilty on a superseding information, I-23-00019, that charged you with 3 counts of accessory after the fact. That's the felony carries up to 6 years in prison. You understand that, sir? Mr. Johnson, you have a right to have this case, this charge submitted to the grand jury. When you enter a guilty plea on this information, you're waiving. You're giving up your rights to have this case of accessory after the fact submitted to the grand jury. That case comes to court quicker when you plead on that information. The state will make you the best offer they will ever make on that information, but you're giving up. You're waiving your rights to have this case on an accessory submitted and reviewed by the grand jury. Do you understand this, sir? Is that what you want to do, sir? Yes, sir. Put your right-hand corner where it reads defendant. Did you sign that, sir? Yes, sir. Mr. Johnson, all of your rights are above your signature, those your state and federal constitutional rights. Did your attorney Mr. Corman go over those rights with you and explain them to you, sir? Yes, sir. Do you understand the rights that you waived and given up today, sir? Yes, sir. Mr. Marcus Johnson, you heard Mr. Paul Hagerman, the prosecutor, recently stated this in court a few minutes ago. When you enter this guilty plea, when you enter this change of plea today, you're telling the court that if you had a trial on your case, the state of Tennessee would bring witnesses to court. Those witnesses would testify under oath. They would say things that are similar, that are consistent with what the prosecutor just read. You're telling the court, Mr. Johnson, that if the jury believed those witnesses, that jury would have enough reason to find you guilty of accessory after the fact. You understand that? Yes, sir. You have an absolute right to have a trial on your case if you wanted one. You have rights to Judge Crawford not guilty of anything, and I want a trial. Judge, I am demanding a trial. And had this case been tried, you would have a right to confront and cross-examine those witnesses against you. Say you have to bring those folks to court. You can look at it in person. They would sit right there on that chair on the witness stand when you're seated. Your lawyer, Mr. Corman, will question those folks to see whether or not they are telling the truth. If this case for a sentencing hearing, and at that sentencing hearing, Mr. Johnson, you'll be sentenced somewhere between 6 and 12 years in prison. Now, is that the agreement you have to state in Tennessee, sir? Yes, sir. Mr. Johnson, you've been sworn to tell the truth. You understand that, sir? Everything that you say under oath has to be true. If you do not tell the truth, the state could indict you for perjury, and that carries up to 12 years in prison. You understand that, sir? Before I continue with this guilty plea colloquy, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Hagerman has asked the court's permission to ask you some questions. You waive your right to remain silent when you enter this guilty plea, so listen to the questions that Mr. Hagerman asked of you, sir. Make sure you answer those questions truthfully. You understand that? If Mr. Hagerman responds to Judge Dolph, we don't believe Mr. Marcus Johnson has been truthful, we're going to ask the court to vacate this guilty plea. They will strike this guilty plea, and your case will go back to the same status as was before this information was found. You understand that, sir? Any questions, sir? Mr. Hagerman, you may proceed, sir.
Yes, sir. And when you talking about getting with your half-brother Justin, he's your half-brother, is that right? Yes, sir. You told me about meeting with your half-brother Justin about a week or so after the murder of A1 Jr. time that he gave you a car, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You told me at that time he also gave you his cellular telephone, is that correct?
Correct.
You told me that, or did you tell me that afterwards you used that cellular telephone at his request?
Yes, sir.
Did you describe to me a scenario in which you would place one phone up to another while Justin was on another phone for the benefit of his parole or probation officer?
He called to get somebody's number, and I would put my phone down on the bed, and I would put somebody else's phone like that.
And you told me about the times that you did that, is that correct? And you also described times not just with the probation or parole officer, but also with an individual known to you as C. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you now know that individual to be Cornelius Smith, is that right? And you described to me, you turned this phone over, and in it were text messages with this individual C, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And some of these text messages, some of what you witnessed, was conversation with regard to money that Justin would be getting to see, is that correct?
He asked for money, yes, sir.
Asked for money,
Yes, sir.
is that correct?
Yeah. He was asking for money for somebody else, from somebody else.
Okay, and that somebody else was referred to as Unc, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this would be money that C asked for from Justin that Justin was going to get from Unc.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? You described all that to me.
Yes, sir.
You've also looked at some photographs that included one of your half-brother in a particular outfit, and you identified Justin Johnson, your half-brother, in the photograph.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that one day you may be called to testify in trial this time?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell the truth at that time?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell the truth with me?
Yes, sir.
No other questions?
Mr. Ackerman, before we have any questions of Marcus Johnson.
No question, thank you, Judge.
Mr. Marcus Johnson, the felonies that you pled guilty to, the sex after the fact is class E felony. It carries anywhere technically from 1 day to 6 years in prison. You understand that, sir? You have agreed under what's called a hybrid guilty plea, State versus Mailer and Hicks, State versus Hicks, in which you're agreeing to plead outside of your range. You're not a range 2 offender. You understand that? In order to be a range 2 offender, you have to have 2 prior felony convictions. You don't have any felony convictions. You understand that? You can agree to plead outside of your range as long as you're within the range of punishment for that crime, that E felony, as long as you're doing that in your best interest. You understand that? So you agree to plead outside of your range as a multiple range 2 offender. That range 2 sentence will carry anywhere from 2 to 4 years in prison. And you've also agreed that at your sentencing hearing, you will be sentenced to consecutive sentences on these 3 counts. So it's a minimum sentence of 6 years in prison to as much as 12 years in prison. You understand that, sir? You understand normally, unless you make that agreement, you cannot be sentenced to more than 2 years in prison. That they will run consecutively a total sentence of 6. You understand that? Mr. Johnson, what's the court